That's 2. That's 3 bugs on the bottom. That's 4 bugs. Yeah, he's not surviving.
Each week, I get the free game from the Epic Game Store. I have over 400 titles, and until the start of the series, I played less than half. A dozen. I've stopped calling myself a gamer and started calling myself a collector. Now, I may never get through my back catalogue, but I can't stop it getting worse. Join me as each week I play through the latest giveaways, and maybe we find some gems along the way.
If looks could kill, she'd tear your heart to pieces and eat it. No reason, got venom in her lipstick, sadistic, I'm dead. I'd be buried like 10 feet, come get me. I'll dress it for a funeral, unusual, I'm dead.
This week's giveaway was
Cardpocalypse! School has gone insane!
Cardpocalypse is a story-driven adventure revolving around a single-player card game. You play as Jessica Carter, a new student at Dudsdale Elementary.
How would you like to taste my gauntlets?
We find out on the bus ride there that pretty much every student in school is completely obsessed with the latest fad, a card game. Up until now, Jessica has never owned a set of these playing cards. Mainly because she has an impulse control problem. But all of that changes when she finds a starter pack in her lunchbox. So Jess opens it up and starts a card game. This is our first introduction to Mega Mutant Power Pets. The card game itself is played in turns, with the first player being chosen at random. You draw cards from your deck, gain an additional maximum food, restore all your food, and then use that food to play cards. Mutations cost 1 food and are played face down, while various keywords give your minions different abilities. Defenders have to be attacked while they're on the board. Stealth means a minion can't be targeted. Lethal allows a minion to kill anything it damages with an attack. And Charge allows a minion to attack on the same turn it's played. After winning our first battle, we're rewarded with a legendary card called the Top Dog. From here, it's back to the story, where we're immediately sent to the principal's office along with Jacob Pilgrim. Before seeing the principal, we convince Jacob to have a card battle with us, only to discover that he's also been assigned to show us around the school. During our tour, we run into Cedric, who demands a card battle. Then it's off to the cafeteria, where Sam also wants a card battle. Then we reach the playground. There are 2 more card battles waiting for us here, but more importantly, we finally get our proper quest that doesn't involve playing cards. Ruth's Gamatotchi has died, and she wants us to hold a funeral for it, so we're tasked with gathering as many students as possible to attend. After exploring the playground and speaking to several students, Jess holds the funeral for Ruth's Gamatotchi before rejoining Jacob to finish the school tour. And this is where we first meet Bruce Dorkoff, the school bully. After beating him in a card battle, Bruce refuses to accept defeat and instead tries to steal Jess's Wolfgang card.
Ooh.
So naturally, she did the obvious thing and pushed him.
Give me my cards!
which, understandably, resulted in the card game being banned from the school. And that's where things started to get interesting. For me, Cardpocalypse actually has an interesting story. You've got the new kid at school somehow getting blamed for ruining the latest fad for everyone, while also investigating strange purple puddles that have started appearing around the local area. There's enough going on to keep me interested, and the card game itself is pretty decent. The problem is that these two sides of the game don't really seem to gel. The story keeps getting interrupted by card games, and the card games keep getting interrupted by story. It's like someone saw how popular card games were in other story-driven titles, like Final Fantasy or The Witcher, and decided that the obvious solution was to make the card game the entire personality of this one. I would have much preferred to play the game for the story, with card battles appearing naturally along the way. Instead, they're constantly forced upon you like Pokemon trainer battles. And while the card game itself is perfectly serviceable, most battles are over within 6 or 7 turns. So these sections of the game are fairly short-lived anyway. I don't think Cardpocalypse is a bad game, I just think it struggles to balance the two things it's trying to do. For me, the story was interesting enough to want to keep playing, and the card game was decent enough when I actually wanted to play it. I just didn't particularly enjoy having the two constantly fighting for my attention. I give Cardpocalypse a 4 out of 10. The other giveaway this week was a package deal for a microtransaction game, so I completely ignored that and rolled up Into the Breach instead. Into the Breach is a turn-based strategy rogue-lite, where you control a small team of 3 mechs and attempt to defend humanity from an army of insectoid monsters known as the Vec. You select an island to protect and are then given a few different map options for your next battle. Each map comes with its own objectives, which can reward you with reputation, power canisters, or grid power. Reputation can be spent at the end of each island on upgrades, while grid power is essentially the health bar for your entire campaign. You select a map, jump into battle, and then spend several turns punching bugs while trying to keep the civilians alive. The interesting part is that the enemies move first. They reveal what they're planning to attack, and then it's your turn to completely ruin their plans. Your primary objective is to survive for several rounds while protecting the civilian buildings scattered around the map. If a building is destroyed, your power grid takes a hit. Once that power grid hits 0, the Vec take over and you're extracted from the scenario. Therefore, sometimes you'll find yourself prioritizing the safety of these buildings over the safety of your own mechs. After all, mechs can be repaired. Dead civilians, however, cannot. Once you've protected 2, 3, or 4 islands, depending on how confident you're feeling, you can head to the volcanic hive and attempt to wipe out the Vec threat entirely. With an endless combination of enemy types, terrain effects, weather conditions, objectives, and mech options, each battle can play out very differently. You'll also unlock a large assortment of different mechs and squads as you progress. These can be purchased using coins earned from completing achievements, such as drowning 3 enemies in a single battle. Each squad has 3 unique achievements to work through, resulting in plenty of additional unlockable content. So there's a surprising amount of replayability here. I quite enjoyed my time with Into the Breach. At first, I thought it was going to get a little repetitive, but once I realized there were more advanced mechanics available for future playthroughs, along with all the unlockable content sitting on the main menu, I had a lot more reason to keep playing. I really enjoyed the strategic combat. There's something particularly satisfying about watching a group of enemies line up their attacks, only for you to spend your turn pushing them into each other, throwing them into water, or otherwise making their carefully constructed plans completely useless. And any opportunity to drown bugs was always entertaining. Into the Breach is a game that starts fairly simple but gradually reveals just how much depth there is underneath. I give Into the Breach a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for next week's giveaway of Breath Edge and Rival Stars Horse Racing. And as always, if you played either of these titles yourself, please drop a comment and let me know your thoughts.